Coach, can you describe that second and third quarter from what you've seen from your guys, and at what point did you know that game was yours, to take?
I don't know if I ever knew it was, ours to take. The Spurs are always going to make a run. Patty Mills got going, but I just loved how we responded to that first quarter. They came out and jumped us. They shot 79% in that first quarter. We only had 1 assist in the first quarter, but we settled down. The guys off the bench came in and did a great job. And when we put our starters back in the game, they were fantastic. So to win quarters 2, 3, and 4 on the road, I know all the people back home know this. The Denver Nuggets had not won here since 2012. It's a long time. And for it to come tonight in Game 4, which allows us to take back home court advantage, even makes it that much more special. So very proud of our guys. Jamal Murray responded from Game 3 to Game 4. Torrey Craig, I make a change in the lineup, and he goes out there and plays phenomenal on both ends of the floor. So hell of a win for us. We still have a lot of work to do. We'll watch the film, we'll learn from it, and try to be even better next game at home.
Coach, you challenged your players to be a lot more physical in this game. How do you think they responded to that, and what really propelled them to be that good in quarters 2, 3, and 4? Yeah,
I think the ball movement was terrific after quarter 1. Once again, only 1 assist. I think in that second quarter we had 10 or 11. The defense picked up. Things that hurt us in Game 3, like I learned this a long time ago from Jeff Van Gundy when I got in the NBA. You got to understand why you win and why you lose. And we explained to our guys after the game. We watched the film yesterday. We lost because of points off turnovers, second chance points. They still got in the paint too much, but a much better job, only 11 points off turnovers. Much better job, second chance points. So I think our guys understood how we needed to play, and they answered the call, TJ. They went out there and were much more physical, and we were able to pull out the win.
Along those lines, you challenged Jamal to have a great game throughout, not just one great quarter. The rebounding, the physicality. You're down 2-1. You hadn't won here in 7 years, like you said. This was a balls on the table game. How do you think your guys reacted, and what did you see from them tonight that you hadn't seen previously?
Yeah, I saw a lot of balls on the table. To rephrase your question. I saw confidence. That's what I saw. I saw a young team that was not thinking about 2012. Because if you think about the last 7 years, that's going to overwhelm you. We're living in the present. We're living today. Game number 4. And that's all we worried about. And, we've been close. We know we didn't show up the way we needed to show up in Game 3. And our guys answered. It wasn't just vets. It was a lot of young guys. Torrey Craig gets his first playoff start. He was in the G League last year, and he has that kind of a game. Monte Morris was in the G League last year, playing great off the bench. Jamal Murray from Game 3 to 4 looked like a different player. He goes out, gets 24 points, 6 assists, only 1 turnover. And you feel bad because you don't talk about Nikola sometimes because you expect greatness from him every night. He was fantastic. So, and I think Will Barton, those are tough discussions. You're taking a guy out of the starting lineup. It wasn't about Will. It was about I felt it was the best interest of our team. But Will gets 12 points off the bench and hits 3 threes. So everybody stepped up. But I saw a confidence, a belief in one another that is necessary to come in here and win a game like we did.
Why was it Torrey that you ultimately, right here?
I'm sorry.
Why was it Torrey that you ultimately landed on to move into the starting lineup and not a guy like Malik?
Yeah, obviously it was a tough decision. I could have gone with either one of those guys. I wanted to put Torrey Craig on DeMar DeRozan. I think Gary's done a phenomenal job. I think Torrey's the best matchup on him. After 36 from Derek White, I wanted Gary to guard him. So our 2 best perimeter defenders on their 2 best perimeter players. And the other thing was for Malik. Malik could easily have been that guy, Harrison, but I think it was really important to keep Malik in his comfort zone. He had been coming off the bench, playing a high level against their bench unit. He, Monte, and Mason have great chemistry and synergy on the court. I didn't want to mess that up. I'd be lying if I said I knew Torrey Craig was going to go out and get 18 and hit 5 threes. But his defense, his rebounding, his shot making, and Malik was still fantastic off the bench. So it was just kind of I didn't want to mess up the rhythm of that second unit.
In particular, you said you wanted to see more fire from Jamal. What did you see on that dunk, and did you like to see him respond like that?
Yeah, I think overall his whole game, Mike, was a really positive sign in how he responded. And, we've talked a lot the last couple of days, and I told our players that were going on the court, said enough talk. We can talk till we're blue in the face about, hey, we're going to hit him first, all that. Go out there and do it. I mean, that's what you have to do. And we were able to do that. And Jamal, obviously, with that dunk, fired him up. But I thought he was a lot more engaged. I thought he played a lot harder, played with a lot more urgency. And I'm not surprised because we all know what Derek White did last game. So I think we all took it personally.
Looked like Nikola really came out looking to shoot. What did you just think about your best player, looking to get his in a game you really need to have?
Yeah. I mean, 29 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, no turnovers. The guy's an incredible player. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes you forget to mention him because you expect it every night. But Nikola being aggressive offensively, knowing they're double teaming, picking his spots, putting him in more pick and roll, pick and pop, hit him on the short roll, let him make plays. So, that's what excites me, seeing all these guys step up in big moments. And this is the first time they're all going through it. And I think they've responded really, really well. And the work's not done. Series is tied. There's a lot of game to be left to be played. But Nikola was fantastic tonight. And you're right, he's our best player. And he responded in a big way when we needed him to.
Coach, I know that over the summer when the team signed Will Barton to that deal, starting was important to him. Is there anything you can share about the conversation you had with him and just how he took it and was able to be confident off of the bench tonight?
One thing that I love about Will Barton, starter, bench, you're not going to ever shake his confidence. I have a deep respect for Will because of that. The conversation that I had with Will, without getting into all the details, he's got pride. He wants to start. As I told him, we're not down 1 game to 2 because of Will Barton. We didn't give up 62 in the paint last game because of Will Barton. We haven't been a rebounder 3 games in a row because of Will Barton. I said, but I just think bringing you off the bench, putting the ball in your hands a little bit more, because in that starting group, it's hard to get the ball in everybody's hand. And I asked him just, to continue to be the leader that he is, and I thought he was phenomenal. Like he handled it like a man. Of course, he wants to start, but he went out there, was mature about it, and played to the best of his ability off the bench and helped us get this win. 12 points off the bench, 3 threes is a big part of us getting this win tonight.
We all know, we all know Craig's story, and he's great defensively. He's very athletic. What development have you seen during maybe even the course of this season with that 3-point shot that allowed him to hit, 5 in this big game?
I remember having a conversation with him last year, and I think you guys all know, the Denver media know how high I was on Torrey last year as a two-way player. He was a guy that I don't look, for me, I don't never look at when you were drafted, what round, what school. I don't care. If you can play, I'm going to play you. If you can help us win, I'm going to play you. And I have that kind of confidence in Torrey. But I remember saying to him last year, Bruce Bowen, right, a guy that played here, could guard in multiple positions and became a prolific corner 3-point shooter. You've got to add that to your game if you want to be in the league for a long time. And then now it's a question of, are you going to take that message to heart? Our player development coaches do a great job. Torrey deserves the credit, kids, because he's put the time in. So now, obviously, he's not just a one-trick pony. I can guard, but we're playing 4-on-5 on offense, and that's not the case. He moves well without the ball. He finishes. He rebounds. He defends. And, obviously, he can make the 3-point shot. So his confidence in shooting that ball is very high, and, obviously, allowing him to shoot it, and he's never looking over his shoulder. Hey, is coach going to take me out if I take an open 3? If we take open shots, that's all I care about. So Torrey deserves so much credit for staying with it and improving his overall basketball game.
At what point did you stop talking and just said, just go play? And secondly, did they feel y'all the way that you wanted them to feel y'all tonight?
It was definitely an improvement, from Game 3, where I don't think they felt us at all. So even in that first quarter, they jumped us and they got up to such a good start. But I liked their energy more tonight. I liked the urgency. I liked the fight. I could tell that guys were engaged a lot more than we were in Game 3. And then for me, we go through our pregame routine. We show the film and the coverages. And I say, you know what, fellas, how much more do we need to talk about? I mean, it's go out there and do your job. And leave it on the floor, and they did that. You know, I mean, obviously we had to kind of wake up a little after that first quarter and get back to playing our brand of basketball, and I think we did that at a high level for the last 3 quarters. Appreciate it, everybody.